Pooper Scooper saves burning bush. Grandma's burning bush was on fire and Pooper Scooper saved it. You be the talk of the town. My staff member just got bit. I just got the text message. We just had the conversation and we are figuring things out. This homeowner contacted me, needed to get service. In my questionnaire, it asks a series of questions. It also asks if you have an aggressive dog. She did state that one of her dogs were aggressive, and I included that in the notes for the scooper, so she is fully aware. But this is the thing. When we're on our way, we text the homeowner letting them know we are on the way. I also have in my documentation that when the scooper is in the backyard, the dogs are not to be out there. Okay, so it is the homeowner's responsibility to make sure that dog is secure and make sure that our technicians are safe. Well, the homeowner was standing in the back door talking with my scooper. The dog got out, and as the dog is running towards my scooper, she proceeds to say, "Oh, that's the one that bites." Well, sure enough, bow, went ahead and bit my scooper. A lot of times dogs will try to bite from behind. So when I got bit in the calf, and my team member, she also got bit in the calf. It did not break skin. It's wintertime here in Michigan, so she had on several layers, but there is still an indentation in her skin, but it did not break skin. She probably will bruise. So I'm grateful. We're both very grateful that it didn't break skin because that can lead to infections. Dog saliva is very dirty, and that's a whole other protocol. You know, I would need to get vaccination records. I'd have to contact my workman's comp. Like, I would have to have a lot of conversations. I haven't had to do that yet, so I'm not exactly sure what that process looks like. But having this happen, I need to know what happens. What is the SOP, the standard operating procedure, for when a dog bites somebody and it breaks skin? Because when it was me, I just cleaned it out. I went home, I bandaged it up, and then that was that. But if that happens to a staff member, that's a total different ballgame because of liability. Who's liable? I'm not exactly sure. So I need to actually call my insurance company and figure out that. But we're not talking about that situation. We're talking about how I'm going to handle this customer moving forward. What I've decided is it's a zero tolerance policy. This homeowner, this customer was brand new, and I feel as if she wasn't responsible as she should have been. She knew that she had an aggressive dog that would bite. She allowed the door to be open. She wasn't paying attention. So therefore, the dog got let out and bit my technician. And I'm not okay with that. So I am going to call her. I'm going to let her know that I know about what happened. And, unfortunately, I don't know if I'm going to use the words unfortunately. I'm not really 100% sure on my verbiage, but I'm going to let her know that moving forward, we will not be able to service her property due to the dog being aggressive and actually biting our staff member. So you will no longer be on our roster. I don't know how she's going to react to the situation, if she's going to be understanding or if she's going to be upset about it. If she's going to be upset about it, then I will handle it properly. But I am not going to send my scooper to a household we're not going to go to anybody's household that isn't putting our technicians' safety as a priority. It's not like this was a child that accidentally opened up the door, because that's happened, where it's, the child opened the door, it was a complete accident, or the dog was able to unlock the door and got itself out, because that has happened before. Those are different situations. This is an adult that is in charge of the dog. She was neglectful, let the dog out, the dog bit the staff member. So I'm canceling her service. She just got the first service done. I'm gonna wait for her to make her payment because I do want to get paid for that service. I'm going to call her. I'm going to have that conversation. I am going to be as compassionate as possible. And say, for instance, if this happens to you and you're a little nervous about having those type of conversations, write out a little script for yourself with your bullet points of the things that you want to say, points you want to make, and just stick to your guns, because this is my thought process. If you don't feel right about a customer, you don't feel safe in a situation, there is no reason to put you, your business, your staff in danger's way. There's no point in risking it for the biscuit. So if you have your intuition, you're like, something doesn't feel right about this, you're able to make the decision to not service that person. And it's okay, because you are the business owner. You need to listen to yourself, listen to your staff, and make those hard decisions. And having the conversation with this woman is going to be difficult. It's going to be intimidating. Am I nervous about it? Yes. But if I don't do it, and then she lets the dog out again, and then it actually breaks skin, who's the one that's neglectful at that point? I feel as if I'm neglectful because I didn't handle it the way that it should have been handled and stopped it immediately. And have you ever heard the expression, you don't need insurance until you need insurance? If you start a business and you're like, I can't afford to have insurance, I can't afford to do this, I feel like insurance is the basics. You need to make sure that you're able to afford your insurance. If you can't afford the insurance for your business, you're not charging enough. So this all kind of goes back to like your pricing and what you're charging people. You need to be charging folks accordingly to be able to pay for your insurance, pay for your gas, pay people a decent wage, cover all of your bills, pay for your taxes, put money away. All that needs to be incorporated into your pricing, because if you do have team members and you have staff, you have to have the adequate insurance to cover them. You have to have the workman's comp. Now, it varies depending on state or where you live. If you live in a different country, I'm sure all of that is very different. Contact different insurance agencies, right? Get the quotes, get the information, find out, which I haven't found this out yet, and I'm 5 years in. Find out what happens if somebody gets bit. What is the course of action that needs to happen? What is covered? What isn't covered? How much money out of pocket would you possibly have to pay? Because say if you got to pay a large amount of money, do you have that money put away? Where are you going to get that money from if you don't have that coverage? You don't want to have to go bankrupt. You don't want your business to go under. You don't want to be held liable for a substantial amount of money. So you want to have the proper insurance. And insurance is ridiculous. It's stupid. I hate it. But you got to have it. You have to have it. And with trying to stay on track with the dog bite, or if you get hurt at work, it's good to have a first aid kit on, like, in your vehicle. So if you get cut or something happens, you're able to clean up your wound, you're able to clean up your cut, you can put a band-aid on it, you can, do all of the things while you're there. So it's really, really important to have one of those on your vehicle. And I was also told, which I don't really know if this applies to us as pooper scoopers, because we don't have equipment that could like catch on fire other than our vehicles, but it's good to have a fire extinguisher on your truck or car or whatever you're using. Because say for instance, if you're a landscaper and you're listening to this and your mower catches on fire, what are you gonna do? Just watch it burn? No, you're gonna run to your truck and you're gonna grab your fire extinguisher and put that out and hopefully save your machine. So it's important to have one of those. And it'd just be cool. What happens if something's on fire and then all of a sudden you're there and you can save the day. You're like, oh, I got a fire extinguisher. And you go in there like a boss and you're like, psh, and you put it out and everybody's like, oh my gosh, you saved us. You're a hero. And the crowd's like, yeah, it's going wild. And then you like end up on the news. Pooper Scooper saves burning bush. Grandma's burning bush was on fire and Pooper Scooper saved it. You'd be the talk of the town because you were prepared. The likelihood of that happening, slim to none. Slim to none. But what if? Think about it. Play chess, not checkers. All right, that that was ridiculous. Oh my gosh.